want to draw out. So kind of up to you. So again, it's part multiple choice. Really the only kind of short answer is either figuring out how many carbons are in the longest chain or like naming a branched hydrocarbon. Everything else is going to be multiple choice. You have a little bit of, maybe choices to choose from. Sometimes that's good and sometimes that's not. I don't know. See? All right, so the first one, recognize saturated versus unsaturated hydrocarbons from line drawing. Remember, saturated will only have single bonds, where your unsaturated will have double or triple. So from the drawings, you can tell which one's saturated versus which one's unsaturated. Right, allotropes of carbon. So examples of those would be diamond, graphite, fullerene, nanotubes. Those are all allotropes, or just different forms of carbon. Yes, Belle?
For those, I know like on our notes we have to like set all the carbons were in each one. Do we have to do that?
Yep. Just know the names is all you have to know.
Wait,
Yep.
what was it again? Sorry.
So diamond, graphite, fullerene, nanotubes. All right, and then the next like 3 or 4 kind of all go together. So it's the formulas. So remember, saturated is the CnH2n plus 2. Sorry, I didn't write that very well. So this all goes together. And then for unsaturated, so remember it's saturated with hydrogens. When in doubt, like if you get to the test tomorrow and like you totally freeze, and you're like, I can't remember the formula, draw it out. Draw out like 3 carbons saturated with hydrogens and see what that relationship is, and then put a double bond in, and then see what that relationship is. Put a triple bond in, right? So when in doubt, draw it out. I don't know if I guess that rhymes. I didn't really mean for it to, but. All right, so if it's unsaturated, remember it can be an alkene, meaning a double bond, or alkyne, meaning a triple bond. So an alkene, we have to take away 2 hydrogens. So CnH2n. And then for an alkyne, a triple bond, CnH2n minus 2. And that kind of took care of the next 2 things on the topics as well, because it specifically asked about alkene or alkyne. Right, for the next one, recognizing amine. You don't have to, on this one, you don't have to worry about the number of carbons versus hydrogens. All you have to do is worry that it has a nitrogen. And that will be enough information for you to know it's an amine. For the next one, for a ketone, you will have to know the formula. And so if you think about it, so ketone has that double bonded O. So think double bonded, it's going to be the formula of an alkene, plus then it has an oxygen. So CnH2n O. And this one time you will have to know that relationship between carbon and hydrogen and the number of oxygens, because it's going to give you kind of different choices. And again, if you forget, draw it out. So here's a 3-carbon ketone, and then you remember each carbon has 4 bonds. So wherever there's room for more bonds, you're going to add hydrogens. So then I have 3 carbons. I have 6 hydrogens, so double the number of hydrogens and an oxygen. So you can always do that too, if you get to the point and you can't remember which is which. All right, so formula for ketone, formula for carboxylic acid. So it's just like a ketone, except there's an extra oxygen. And again, you can always kind of draw it out. I just kind of picked 3 because it's, kind of in the middle. It's not a whole lot to keep track of. So then kind of add on my H's. All right, so there's my 3 C's. There's my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 H's and my 2 O's. Okay, the next one, the relationship between carbon chain length and boiling point. The fewer the C's, the fewer the carbons, the lower the boiling point. Or the higher the C's, the more the C's, the higher the boiling point, however you want to think about it. Yes?
Okay,
Taylor.
I think I missed the third one we did, the name and alcohol. Oh, did you, it says name and alcohol. On the third one.
Wait, so less carbon,
Oh.
less boiling point? Yeah, so lower boiling point.
Name and alkene. Oh, because that's not on mine.
Oh, okay. I was like, am I missing something?
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not listening.
because I had an older one that I had written
Okay.
stuff on, and that one wasn't on mine, so, and like third hour, I went from my old one and no one said a word, so.
Oh.
I guess it's good. Yeah, okay, so we'll go back. So anyways, so everybody good on the carbon?
Yeah.
All right, so now, sorry about that. Name an alkene. So remember that your double bond takes precedence in terms of the lowest number. So like if you were naming, I don't know, like pentene. All right, so right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then, would it be 1, 2 pentene? Would it be 1, 2, 3 pentene? Which of those would it be? It'd be 2, right? Because I always want it to have the lowest possible number. So that's kind of what that meant. Sorry that I skipped that one. I don't know if anything else is in a different order or not. I guess we'll find out if you call me out on anything else. Okay, next one. Formula for an alcohol? Okay. Now I'm like paranoid that I'm gonna skip something.
We'll let you know.
Okay. I'm just gonna go in my order and then you can tell me if there's, because I had just written notes on this one and examples. Alright, so on this one, you're concerned, so first of all, to be an alcohol, it has to have what? An OH. So you know that it's gonna have to have an OH. And then it's all about the number of carbons. The hydrogens are gonna be there, but you don't really care about those. Alright, so if it was, let's say, ethanol. So F is how many carbons? 2. Alright, so that would be ethanol. Alright, but it would be probably written like this. Because it's going to include the hydrogens as well. But don't worry about that. Just look at that there's 2 carbons and an OH. And so that is ethanol. So it'll give you the name. And then you have to figure out, you have to match it to the formula. Is how that one will work.
So it'll give you like ethanol, and then,
Uh-huh.
do you have to draw it or?
Nope, you just have to match it.
Okay.
Okay, next one is isomer definition. So it's just the same formula, but a different molecular structure or a different arrangement of atoms. same formula, but different structure.
So if I know how to like do everything else except like name them, what do you think I'll get?
Except for name them, well,
Like if I get like that one right there, and you have to say like what is that, and I don't know that it's a.
well, so there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15. So there's 15 where you have to name.
How many questions are there?
Well, 36 multiple choice and then 7 short answer, so 43. So 15 of those 43 involve some sort of naming.
So almost half the test.
You got this one.
So like a third of the test.
75.
Well, that would be a fourth, so like 67.
Well, you're not gonna get all of
You
them
would
wrong,
get a
like you
65%.
could guess and get some right.
If you got every other one right.
That's true. Oh my god, I was listening so close because I didn't like in the same boat.
Well, that's why we're going over this today, so hopefully maybe this will help. Okay, so name branch hydrocarbons, we're gonna save that because there's some of those with the short answer as well, and I'm gonna draw out some things. So we'll save that and we'll come back to it. Recognizing functional groups, so we spent, like all that time, so hopefully you still remember the functional groups. They'll be up here written for you. On some of them, it's truly just the functional group. For some of them, it gives you like a molecule, and it might say, which 2 functional groups, or, kind of like the homework that we did yesterday, or the questions we did yesterday, there might be multiples, but you pick out the one that's there. So there's several questions like that, so just make sure that you know what your functional groups are.
I got that down.
Okay.
12 questions.
Okay.
So what if I miss all the? What if I miss all of them?
So what if I don't get any questions right?
You get a 75. Or not 75, 60.
If you missed every single one of them.
Yeah, because there's 36 questions and those are 12.
Zero.
Well, there's 36, but then there's short answer, so there's 43.
Oh. Alright.
I think if you miss 12 on 36, you get more than that's a
12
65.
is a third of 36.
It will, you know what, just don't miss 12
No,
questions.
that's wrong. Wait, it's still
Yeah,
it's
just 12 or
36. Oh, no, I was right. I was like, wait a second.
You're really confident you said that.
We don't need this one, it's not math.
I wish I learned chemistry too.
And math will be next semester.
Oh,
You'll get-
great.
I'll do good then.
Yeah, me too.
Hey,
Okay, so next one, name an alkyl group. An alkyl group is just your branch. So like if it was a 1 carbon branch, it would be methyl. If it was a 5 carbon branch, it would be pentyl. So how are you gonna know it's a branch?
If it's not on the main.
Yeah, but it just gives you like the piece of it. So how are you gonna know it's a branch? It'll look like that. Because it'll have a line.
And that is a, what is that?
So what is that?
It's
apple group.
Well, so specifically what alkyl group?
Methane.
Methyl.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because CH4 would be methane.
I got
And then we take away an H so that it can be a branch. Then it becomes methyl.
Wait, so can you draw like apple?
Can I draw ethyl?
Yeah, what would ethyl look like? Oh, duh. Wait.
Oh, so basically
Why
what
is
it
it
just used right now.
So it's just gonna like
there's
be
two
however,
C's.
it's however many hydrogen on that one C before it starts with.
That's really smart.
Yes, really.
Why is it CH3, CH2? Like I get that there's C there's two, like, carbon.
and then right there would be where it would bond. So we had to take so like ethane would be like CH3, but to have room to bond and be a branch, we have to take off one of the H's, and that's why it becomes an ethyl as opposed to an ethane.
So,
Today we were in biomed.
so the H's don't matter.
Right. Don't worry about the H's.
Okay.
Today whenever we were in biomed, I was sitting, you know where like black comfy chairs?
Like the butterfly chair.
Oh yes.
Yeah. I was sitting I was laying down doing my work, and then I was like trying to get up to ask to go to the bathroom. Literally the chair just flips on top of me. And I fell on the ground, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, is your butt okay?"
So if it's H4, it's A?
Well, I mean, like this one would be.
But because it's a branch, it'll be the
YL.
Not before, but
So will it have like a dash thing if there's a branch?
Oh, okay, because when it's a branch, it's YL, right? Okay. So the ain is not a branch.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So let's say
line is YL.
Me.
Should you be like whispering that?
Okay. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Line equals. No, I said it wrong.
All right. So then, some to name.
Okay.
All right. So it's an aldehyde. So if we think about what it means to be an aldehyde, so what does that mean in terms of functional groups?
No.
That's what I.
Yeah. So an OH, the double bonded OH. Okay. So this is an aldehyde. So then, again, it may not be written like this. It may have all the hydrogens. You don't care about the hydrogens. All you care about are the carbons. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So the prefix for 4 is bute. So it would be butane, but because it's an aldehyde, we change the ending to Al. So butanal.
Boom.
Boom.
Sorry.
And okay. We don't have to do it. You don't have to say anything about like the double bond
Some-
O or H.
Right, because it's always going to be at an end for an aldehyde. So you don't have to tell where.
Okay.
So it'll give us like that thing with the.
Yeah, it'll give you this, and then it'll say name it, and it'll give you like 4 or 5 choices.
Okay. So if it's named, is it multiple choice?
Well, some of it.
That's better than none.
Well,
You have a chance
at
to
the
get
bottom
it
where
right.
it says short answer, it says we have to name branded or branched alkanes, alkenes, and alkynes.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's an aldehyde.
there's only 5 questions, so you have to write in the names.
That's not that
The other 10 are multiple choice.
Just on a ketone, do you have to say where the double bond?
Yes. If it's like a big enough ketone that it could be at different spots. Does that make sense? So if it was just like a 3 ketone one, it has to be in the middle, but if it was and even a 4, but like 5 and above, yes.
So you don't have to for whatever.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Say
but
where
if
the-
So that one would be like.
So again, this one would be multiple choice, so it's not going to give you like one option or the other.
Oh,
Does that make sense? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that prefix is pent, and then it's a ketone, pentanone.
Sounds like no.
So pentanone, and then yes, we do have to tell where that double bonded O is at, and we wanted to have the lowest possible number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So regardless, 3 pentanone. Because it could also be 2, right? I could have it on the second carbon and it could be 2-pentanone, so I have to have that difference.
Are there any bonus questions?
Yes.
So should we study the other ones too? Like the other, like naming
I
the
don't think that would help you. I mean, I will tell you the bonus does deal with functional groups, but I don't think knowing how to name them will help you on the bonus.
Well, if you
Okay.
like locating
Locating?
them.
like circling
Oh,
the,
no, it's not circling. No.
what is it? Just tell us.
It's
locating.
somewhere on the paper.
It's like locating. Okay, next one.
Somewhere in the room.
Actually, that's
Yeah.
how my.
I spy.
It's actually a word
ketone.
search.
Same difference.
You just have to like write on the paper where you found it at.
Okay, so next is a carboxylic acid. So again, you're looking for that double bonded OH. Remember, this is always at the end, so we don't have to tell where it's at. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons. So what's that prefix? Bute. So not butane, but butanoic acid. Very good.
Don't even listen to it.
So again,
And we don't have to say it.
Correct.
Because it always has to be on the end.
correct.
Okay.
Yes, Elizabeth. It might be.
I really don't know.
Because that's the only ether I know.
So ethers. Oh, looky there. There's an ether. That's our next thing.
She said ethyl methyl ether.
Oh, that's what
That was
everyone's
gonna
like,
be my
an O in the
example, but now I'll have
middle.
to come up with something else.
Is there an O in the middle?
Can you make that an example? 'Cause I don't know what that is.
It's
To make it ethyl methyl, I can do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that gonna be our bonus question?
No.
It's probably gonna be like diethyl.
What? It's serious.
What is ethyl?
Okay. So there's your ether, right, with an O in the middle, carbons on either side. So for ether, you treat the carbons on either side of the O as branches. So this would be a 1-carbon branch, so methyl. This would be a 2-carbon branch, so ethyl, and you put them in alphabetical order. So ethyl, methyl, ether. All right, what if it were this?
Yeah.
Favorite ether?
Diethyl.
Diethyl ether, yeah.
Diethyl ether.
Yeah.
That's
See?
really hard to say.
Yeah.
Say
Diethyl
diethyl
ether.
I either say like diethyl ether or like diethyl ether.
Yeah, diethyl ether, yes. So see, you know more than you think you do.
You have confidence in this.
I do.
Do we know more than?
Because I spent like a week of my life going over this stuff again and again and again, right?
Yeah, Taylor, you were. I probably should.
And I spent a week of my life trying to understand this stuff
Yeah.
again and again.
And
Never
it's-
really there.
It was a circuit.
Okay, next one.
Good for you.
Recognize alcohol name from list. So what do alcohols end in? OL. So from the name an OL, right? So formula would be an OH, but it's going to give you like a list of names and ask you which one is or which one isn't an alcohol, and you're looking for something that ends in OL for alcohols. So I don't have to think again. I'm going to use stuff that I used earlier. All right, so the next one, name an alkyl halide alkene. Oh, it's not.
That one that was like with
Yeah. So that's your alkyl halide, right? And then alkene. So we're gonna name that. So see what you can do to name that. Yeah, no, not ethyl methyl anymore.
I know it's heptane.
Chloral.
So chloroheptene, yes, that's part of it.
Wait, just.
Yeah, doesn't the two go in front?
Two chloroheptene.
So what takes precedence, the chloro or the double bond?
The double bond.
The double bond.
Oh, man.
So when I number my carbons, the double bond takes precedence. It has the lowest number.
Oh, wait.
No, it'd be 6 because the double bond takes is.
So it'd be six.
It'd be 6.
So 6 chloro,
Oh, wait.
and then 2.
Yeah. She was like, yeah.
Yeah, so 6 chloro, 2 heptene. That's correct.
Wait, why is it heptene?
Because of the double bond.
So the double bond is E.
Uh-huh.
Then is a triple bond.
Triple bond is Y and E.
Y and E. And a not triple or double is A.
A.
Okay.
It's not triple.
A single.
And the single one.
Yes.
It's not a single, it's not a double.
If it's not a double, triple, or.
What is it?
It's the only other one.
What's a quad?
There's no such thing.
A. I think it's a.
Okay, and then the last thing for multiple choice is to recognize a di-substituted benzene by name. So it's going to give you the name, and you're going to have to pick like which structure it matches. All right, so remember these are what our di-substituted benzenes look like. So I'll use fluorines, that's what I used before. So remember they can be like those, and it doesn't have to be a halogen, you know, it could be like a methyl group, it could be an amine, it could be other things. So right next to each other. Uh-huh. And then a carbon in the middle. And then 2 carbons in the middle. Right? So when the fluorines or chlorines or iodines or whatever, when the branches are right next to each other, this is what? Which of those?
Wait,
Ortho.
oh no.
So ortho, and I'm out of room, so I'm going to kind of come down below. Difluoro benzene. All right, so this is what it would give you. Ortho-difluorobenzene, and then it would give you these choices, and you have to match, you know, pick out which one it is. So it's not like a matching, it's just a picking out which one it is. So ortho, they're right next to each other. What about when there's a carbon in the middle?
What are the options?
Meta.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
I was gonna say, I
So
think-
meta middle,
And para.
right. Oops, sorry, got this one. So meta difluorobenzene, I remember that because there's a carbon in the middle, so middle meta. And then when there's 2 carbons in between, then it's para difluoro.
It's difluoro. It's difluoro because there's 2.
Exactly. Yep. It could be, you know, dimethyl. It could be diiodo.
Can it be more than 2? Or
I mean, there can be, but not for it to be a di-substituted.
okay.
So is it gonna be a dye?
Yes, it will definitely be a di-substituted.
So
Okay.
then, like, okay. Is it, so you just said it wouldn't, like, it doesn't have to be a halogen?
Right, it doesn't have to be a halogen. So, you know, it could be,
I was gonna say that.
so ortho,
Wait, yeah, what
dimethyl,
if there's Oh.
benzene.
So what if there's like a C, and then it skips one and then another C? Which one would it be then? Would it be a med? No, like just.
Okay, so there's a C,
And then there's another one. Yeah, and then there's one not that one, and then another one. Is that the thing?
So then you could, and you would be like 1, 2, 4 trimethylbenzene. But it's not one of these because it's not a di substitute. Because there's not just 2 things, there's 3. But yeah, we could definitely name that 1, 2, 4 trimethylbenzene.
So ortho, meta, and para.
Ortho, meta, para.
Are
Those are
only
your only
di?
3 options. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Good to know.
Okay, so that's the multiple choice. And then for the short answer, there are 2 where it gives you like the line drawing, and you have to figure out just how many carbons are in the main chain. So I think we did a couple of those on your paper. And then the others are, some of them are line drawing, some of them actually give you the carbons, and you have to actually write out the name. So we'll do a couple of those. I'll try to do both ways. Let me find my paper that I used before, so I'm not coming up with stuff from scratch.
I'll be there till 8. I'll be there till 8.
We can go at 8.
And again, sometimes it helps, like when I work these out for you, what do I usually do to show the carbons? I draw in the dots, or I kind of bold it in. So do that. That helps you figure out, oh, this is how many carbons I have. Yeah. I can work it out for you either way, but why don't you try it on your own and see.
Are we supposed to be naming it?
Uh-huh.
What's 4?
Oh, hold on. No, that's not it.
I thought you were going somewhere.
Okay, I think I got it. I don't know if I got it.
4?
Butte.
Butte.
But not for this, it's not.
Okay, that's because that's where I was going with it too.
I'm so confused.
Tetra.
Wait, no.
When you're naming a carbon, it's
2, 3, 4, 5 tetrahexane.
2, 3, 4, 5 tetra.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Tetramethyl hexane.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, why?
Oh, because there's,
Okay, so 6 carbons in the main chain, right? All single bonded. So hexane is my main chain. And then I have these 1 carbon branches. And so all of these are considered what? Because they're 1 carbon. Methyl. But instead of having to say methyl, 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 because there's 4 of them, we say tetramethyl. So if 2 di, 3 tri, 4 tetra, right? You won't have to go beyond that.
If we just
Alright.
put hexane on there, how many points would we get?
So none. It's all or nothing on these.
Oh, okay.
All right, so tetramethyl.
Nothing.
Sorry, that's all one word. But then, like, I'm not going to be super picky. Like, if you make it, 2 words or whatever the case is, that's not a big deal. And then we have to tell where these methyl groups are at. And again, we want them to have the lowest possible number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it doesn't matter, like, how I number. They're going to be at 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 2, 3, 4, 5 dash tetramethylhexane.
That's a big.
Yes.
Who invented these?
Yeah, they're weird. Good question.
They really have nothing better to do.
Right? What if it were like this?
Yeah. They would know what we're talking about.
Oh, she's drawing X's
Wait, what are the X's called? You have to give me a second on this one.
I got it, guys. Oh.
Oh, all the main things.
1, 2, 3.
I think you're making it harder than it is.
I don't think I am.
I just want to look at it and like draw.
Yeah, that's
Why did I just put a YL but YH instead?
You're gonna get this entire test. Taylor, stop erasing.
I got 2 3 diethylhexane.
What did you say?
I got nothing.
2, 3 diethylhexane. Is that not right?
Diethyl.
No?
It'd be tetramethyl, wouldn't it?
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
See?
Yes, it
Tetra-
oh.
Because if you do it with a C, it goes like.
Because if I was going to make it an
That's
ethyl,
what confuses me.
it would look like that. These are each a methyl, so ignore that. That's all.
I was on the right track. You guys were just.
So it's basically it's this. The only difference is the carbons are, or the branches are on the same carbon. So when we number them,
This could be on the
2,
test.
2, 3, 3, tetramethylhexane. It could be.
Oh.
Is there a bonus?
No.
Wait,
I'm just gonna keep asking you if I think there are bonuses.
Put 2 twice.
Okay.
So 2, 2, 3, 3, tetramethylhexane.
Can you show me where the main chain is?
Give me another one.
Are you gonna confuse us this much on the test?
I mean, I'm not gonna
It's
try
like an
to.
optical
She's
illusion.
like, these ones are easier.
These are
You
easy.
just gotta stare at it for long enough. Yeah. It'll give you the.
So that's why I said, go through and, kind of draw things out and circle and, so here's my branches.
I almost did. I almost got it right.
So how would it,
If it was an ethyl on the line drawing, wouldn't it still show that if there's like 2 carbons? I write slow. Yeah, it won't write. So that one would be diethyl. Okay.
Here, let's just name this one. Here, we'll add a step to that one. So see what that one's gonna be.
Is that 8?
Well,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. tied up all 115.
Do you have to put the one?
You have to put the 1. Because you have to tell where the double bond is located. So kind of think about it the other way. If you had the name and you were drawing it, would you have enough information to draw it? And without knowing where the double bond is at, you wouldn't.
I just don't know if like you put like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and just not 1. It's 3, 6, 1.
Oh my gosh, I did that.
Right, so my branches are ethels, right? So I always have to start, so my double bond has the lowest possible number, so I know I have to start numbering here. So then 3 and 6 are my branches and they're ethels. Alright, so 3, 6, diethyl. And then I have to tell where that double bond is at, which is at carbon 1. And then there's 7, and it's a double bond, peptine. Questions. I've got 2 more up my sleeve, and then from there, we'll see what questions we have.
Wait, why is there a 1 again? Sorry.
Because that's where the double
Double
bond
Okay,
starts.
got it. Got it.
Okay, so this one I'm going to draw with carbon, so I'll make it maybe a little bit easier. Oops, sorry, that's in trouble. There we go. Oh shoot, I didn't. Well, it'll work. That's
Wait,
fine.
we have the test.
It might be, yes.
This is the bonus.
This is not bonus. I'm not telling you anything bonus. These are just regular questions.
Can take all the bonus off the time.
We actually don't get bonus.
You guys ask too much.
I say, don't forget that your triple bond has to be part of your main chain. It has to. It can't be a branch. Even though it's kind of drawn like it is a branch, it's not a branch.
I have no idea.
I think I got it. What? Actine.
Octanol.
Octine.
I just wrote an extra A.
Okay, so my main chain, since it has to include my triple bond, I know it has to kind of come up here. And then on this one, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It actually works to do it either way. You can come straight across or you can go up. You're going to get the exact same answer. I'll just go ahead and do straight across. So there's my main chain. And then these are my branches. And I know my triple bond has to take precedence. So I know I'm gonna start numbering here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And again, if you need to do this on your test, then do this on your test. Circle, number, I mean, I don't care. Alright, so then I have at carbon 5, I have a methyl. At carbon 6, I have an ethyl. And then I have my triple bond at 2, and we said 8. So then oct, and then YNE. So which am I going to write first? Ethyl, because it's first alphabetically. So 6 ethyl, 5 methyl, 2 octine.
I've got this now.
Okay, very good.
Can this be a Family Feud question, me and Billy?
My sweater didn't get to go to Family Feud today. I think they ran out of time or something. We got sent back.
Our parents didn't show up, so we
You went back to ours yeah, we beat you guys. We went back at 11:27, and then we get a call, and they're like, "Hey, we're going on right now. The seminar isn't here." It was 11:27. What were we supposed to do?
Well, I sent mine at 11:21 because our time was 11:25, and they got sent back.
Yeah, we went down there at 11:20 because ours was 11:25, and then they told us to go back, and then 11:27 they sent back.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways. Okay. So last one. Hang on. Let me.
Well, our seminar, we went to the first 5, right?
And then I think the last one, and then the other seminar got the last one, and they won.
That's not the way you do it.
I know, but it's, I wasn't playing them.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't have room for this.
I don't either.
This is the last one. Yep. Unless you have other specific questions that you want me to do. This one probably is easy compared to some of the other ones that we've done, as long as you figured out the main chain versus the branch.
5 protein running.
What'd you say?
5 protein running.
That's fine.
Oh, I can't remember what that's called.
Because here's your
Oh, I forgot an extra.
main chain, because it's your longest continuous chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I go straight across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so then regardless of how I count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, my branch, so that 3 carbon propyl branch is on carbon 5. So 5 propyl, and then 9 carbons, no name. So questions? And so don't forget on, what was it, on the back of, there were a couple of things that like on the back of them, they had some practice with this, like maybe on the back of the supplemental, that like I Spy thing, and then there was something else on the back of it. It has some extra practice if you think you need it with this. Alright, so other questions? Alright, so those of you, I know some of you are going to be gone tomorrow because you're going on the field trip. So, you know, Thursday and Friday in class, we're not going to do anything. I'm going to give it to you as, you know, kind of a study hall. If you've got other